Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we are diving into the hidden realities of internet tracking. We're looking at some fascinating source material about a new platform called Bloqr AI and how it's basically rewriting the rules of network-level privacy. If you actually care about speed, security, and taking back real control of your digital footprint, well, you're definitely in the right place. Let's get right into it.
So, to start, we really need to challenge a massive assumption right out of the gate. And that is this widespread belief that consumer VPNs are keeping our digital lives completely safe and private. I mean, for years, we've been sold this idea, right? That a blind, encrypted tunnel is the ultimate shield for your internet hygiene. But looking at the documentation today, it turns out that might just be a comfortable illusion.
Here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll cover the privacy illusion. Then we'll look at how blocking actually works. From there, we'll dive into how it's powered by the edge, explore the point-click-done setup, and finally help you pick your plan.
All right, Section 1, the privacy illusion, and how we're really just moving the trust problem around.
The crucial point here really comes down to how these tools handle your data. The traditional VPN promise relies on taking all of your traffic and rerouting it through a third party. But, physics doesn't negotiate. Rerouting adds a 10 to 30% speed overhead just by design. The alternative reality that Bloqr proposes is zero traffic rerouting. Because it works entirely at the DNS level, it doesn't even touch your traffic path, which paradoxically actually speeds up your browsing by neutralizing those threats before they even have a chance to load.
And that brings us to a really blunt observation from the documentation. You are not removing a trust problem, you're just moving it. Think about it. Shifting your internet traffic from your ISP over to a third-party VPN company, it doesn't actually stop a single ad, tracker, or piece of malware from downloading straight to your device. You are literally just paying a monthly fee to route your data through a completely different server that you can't independently verify.
Section 2. How blocking actually works, and why stopping threats early is the absolute key here. 18. That is a vital number to keep in mind. When you go to load a standard, seemingly simple web page, your browser doesn't just fetch one file. Behind the scenes, it is silently firing off up to 18 separate requests. We're talking images, fonts, invisible scripts, and third-party trackers all racing to log your data.
And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer physics of the problem. Fetching all that junk takes a sluggish 4.2 seconds on average. You are literally sitting there waiting for trackers to finish logging your session before you can even read the article you clicked on. But when you strip all that noise away, your page load time plummets to a lightning-fast 1.1 seconds. So privacy and speed, they aren't a trade-off here at all. Extreme speed is just a direct side effect of better digital hygiene.
Let's break down the actual mechanics of how this happens. Think of Bloqr like a highly efficient bouncer, standing right at the door of the DNS foundbook. Every single website visit starts with your browser asking, hey, where does this thing live? Bloqr intercepts that address request in real time, it checks the guest list, and any known bad actors are bounced immediately at the door. Because that connection is never even opened, your browser never wastes a single millisecond waiting for them.
So going back to those 18 original requests, look at what gets turned away. 5 of them were trackers, silently logging your session. 4 were ad auction scripts, literally bidding on your attention in the background, and 3 were suspicious domains or potential malware. That is 12 pieces of pure noise out of 18. 12! All blocked completely before they could download a single byte to your device.
Which leads us to Section 3, powered by the edge, specifically using the Cloudflare network.
To make this DNS filtering feel truly invisible, the system can't rely on some distant, centralized data center. Instead, it uses edge computing. What this means is that it processes your specific filtering rules at the absolute periphery of the network, as physically close to your device as possible. The result? 0 extra hops and 0 cold starts. No delays waiting for some server halfway across the country to wake up.
The source documents actually reveal that the platform is built natively on Cloudflare's global edge network. To put that in perspective, Cloudflare handles roughly 20% of all internet traffic across over 300 global points of presence. It's massive. And by running your rules inside isolated V8 sandboxes, these are highly secure, independent environments, it ensures there is absolutely no shared memory and 0 blast radius if something goes wrong. When you combine that with AI-powered threat intelligence updating in real time, well, you get an architecture designed for enterprise-level zero trust, but finally applied to your personal browsing.
Moving on to Section 4. Point, click, done. Let's look at simple configuration.
all the edge infrastructure in the world doesn't matter if you need a computer science degree to actually use it, right? So the platform is designed to turn hours of really tedious manual list configuration into a crazy simple 3-step workflow. First, you just point to public lists or even ask the AI for suggestions. Then, you toggle your cleanup options. The system actually automates 11 complex list transformations, stuff like deduplicating rules, stripping out comments, compressing data, and finally, you just push it all to your provider with a single click.
And for ultimate ease of use, you don't even need to know complex filter syntax anymore. You can literally just describe what you want in plain English. The AI Natural Language Rule Builder acts as your personal translator, converting your everyday requests right into proper, highly optimized filter rules behind the scenes.
All right, our final section, Section 5, Pick Your Plan, and taking a look at transparent pricing.
The main thing to take away here is just how transparent the subscription model actually is. It completely abandons that annoying per-seat VPN math that we're all so used to. Instead, it scales purely by usage limits and advanced API features. So whether you want a fully managed software-as-a-service experience on the starter tier for less than the cost of a movie rental, or you want full REST API access and natural language rules on the premium tier, the options are crystal clear.
And importantly, this is completely vendor agnostic. That is a massive point. If you're already running your own existing filter service, like Pi-hole, AdGuard Home, or NextDNS, you don't have to rip it out. It will happily sit right on top as the intelligence layer, compiling and pushing the rules directly to the engine you already know and trust.
I think the ethos of this entire project is captured perfectly in a quote from the founder, who said, 20 years in enterprise IT teaches you things consumer tech companies don't want you to know. The goal here isn't just to create another blind tunnel for you to trust. It's to take the robust, invisible, proactive security of enterprise IT and finally make it accessible to everyday users, completely skipping the massive headache of self-hosting and manual configuration.
According to the source materials, the platform is currently in its closed beta phase. They're welcoming early adopters who want to help shape the roadmap and, of course, lock in their rates well ahead of the public full launch, which is currently scheduled for Q3 of 2026.
So as we wrap up this explainer today, I really want to leave you with a final thought based on everything we've just looked at. Knowing what actually slows down your browser and knowing exactly what is quietly logging your digital life behind the scenes, ask yourself, is your current privacy setup actually fixing the internet? Or are you just moving the problem somewhere else? Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive, and as always, keep questioning how your digital world actually works.